non-QB wins the Heisman this year. I'll tell you what, man. I think the chances are pretty slim. This QB class is fucking loaded. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., I'll throw Bo Nix up in there. I think you're going to hear of some unknown. I actually think Michael Pratt from Tulane, if they have a big year, I think he's going to throw for some numbers down there. Chris, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. I know you're always sleeping on Tulane. No, I think this year's really tough. This isn't the Devontae Smith year. What he did a couple years ago was amazing with Alabama. He scored like basically 2 touchdowns every fucking game. He's a damn one of the best number 2s in the NFL as far as a wide receiver goes. Trying to win the fucking Heisman as a quarterback without being a quarterback in college football is like almost insane. I could talk about Ndamukong Suh. I think he was definitely the best player in college football the year. They gave it to Colt McCoy, which was total bullshit. That's a topic for another day. This year, no. Next year, maybe, just because the quarterback class is a little bit weaker. This year sucks, man. Caleb Williams, Drake May, I said it again. I just don't see how it's a QB award. It's always kind of has been the last how many years now. Every once in a while, you'll get a guy like, was it Mark Ingram up in there? I think Mark Ingram might have won one, actually, as a running back. I mean, it's just very, 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 very rare. And I do not see it coming this year just with this quarterback class. This class is a hell of a lot better than this year's class with, Will Levis and Bryce Young and all those guys, CJ Stroud. It's not going to happen, man. It's just not. I'll leave it there. Christian, you're up for debate, buddy.
Yeah, I think this is exactly, kind of like you said. I mean, it's Devontae Smith at Alabama in 2020 was the last non-quarterback to win it, right? So
he was a receiver, by the way, which is like ultra, ultra rare.
Yeah, I mean, so to me, 11 of the last 13, Heisman winners have been quarterbacks. I think this is an up-tempo spread kind of situation there, right, where teams want to throw the ball all over the field. It's really tough for a non-quarterback to win. But I would say if you're a non-quarterback, running back, or receiver, you need at least 2,000 yards and damn near 20 touchdowns, right, to be one of the best. And you have to. And here's the other thing too: you have to be, one of the best teams in college football. You have to be on one of the best teams. I think that to me is a very important thing there. So I would say this: of all the people I'm looking at, there's a couple, right? There's a couple of people that I think can do this. Marvin Harrison Jr., right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Maybe the number 1 overall pick next year, by the way. His daddy was pretty good. Played with Peyton Manning for all those years. We all know who he is. He's a lot bigger, faster version of him, by the way. Sorry to interject there. Love my wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr., if you guys haven't seen him play, dude. Ooh.
But yeah, after the way they lost in the semis to Georgia, and then also, the departure of JSN, man, he could be in store for a monster season. Season.
Okay, are you trying to say what's your odds? Here, let's throw this out here. What's your odds that somebody that isn't a quarterback, Christian, wins it?
What's the odds that someone isn't a quarterback wins it? I would say probably I would really say 70-30 probably.
Okay.
70-30 is kind of what I would say. 70% a quarterback wins it, 30% a non-quarterback wins it. I think another what about you, Chris? What do you think?
15%.
15%?
Yeah, wins it. Like, that's not a non-quarterback. So like maybe a guy like Blake Corum, right? Who I'm very high on, returning, led the nation in rushing last year. Boy, you bring up a great point. I forgot about him, but like, I don't know who's throwing the ball this year. So like with Marvin Harrison Jr., it's just like, I think it's more like team based. So like, I don't think he's going to put up those Devontae Smith type numbers. And you said it perfectly. Devontae Smith had over 20 fucking touchdowns that year. He had an epic, you have to like have a, like, even as a running back right now, you have to like either win the rushing title, like almost compete for the, national rushing record in the season and or overall, like Ricky Williams, or do something crazy to be able to even like sniff a Heisman, dude. It's crazy. It's like, in this fucking quarterback class next year. And I try to get all like, I'm not trying to simp for this quarterback class, which is what I sound like because I don't like Caleb Williams, but it's just like there's just so many of them that are going to put up huge numbers, right? We think that Michael Penix going to put up big numbers, right? Pac-12 don't play a lot of defense. You know, you got Bo Nix over there. You got Caleb Williams, Drake May. We know how Mac Brown likes to fucking sling the ball around, Christian. I just think they're going to put up such godly numbers that, like, it's going to take a amazing feat for somebody at wide receiver and or running back to even be in that top 3 discussion. We haven't even talked about Jordan Travis. We haven't talked about your boy Jalen Daniels at LSU, right? We haven't even talked about fucking Georgia. I mean, you guys. I mean, you had a, if I'm not mistaken, you were pretty high on Stetson Bennett last year, right?
Of course I was, dude. You know I was.
I know. I got to bring him up. I know how much you love him. But I mean, there's just the quarterback position this year is just crazy, dude. Like it to me is just nuts, and I just don't see how. If this was maybe a different year, like a couple years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago, like maybe you had a shot to kind of crack in that if you were a Devontae Smith. But man, I just don't see it happening this year, dude. Overall, and I'll kick it back to you. I know it kind of abruptly went off on my tangent there, but like this year's going to be tough. Like if somebody does do it this year, I think there's a 10 to 15% chance that, I think a lot of quarterbacks are going to have to fail as far as statistic wise and or record. Kind of ties in both of as far as the Heisman goes.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, here's the reality of it, man. I think Will Shipley, right out of Clemson, he's got a good chance at it too. I mean, they're going to have to lean on him while getting Cade Klubnik broken, out there, super talented quarterback, but still has a chance. Quinshon Judkins, at Ole Miss, had a really good freshman year last year, and I think he's going to be even better this year. And then, another guy that we haven't really talked about on the show is Nick Singleton out of Penn State, right? I mean, he's going to have to probably carry Drew Aller while he gets up to snuff. I mean, and plus, you think about the tradition of great running backs at Penn State. I mean, it's just, I think good things can happen there for him.
I won't disagree with that, but there's 2 really good freshmen there at Penn State. And yeah, I don't know if you duplicate the Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley-esque type of years you're going to have to try to get your name in a Heisman. But I like your optimism, Christian. I really, truly do. I hope you're right. I hope there's a 30% chance of somebody cracking that because I am very big on the skill positions outside of the quarterback winning Heisman, right? I think a lot of guys don't get enough love because it's always been a quarterback award. I think you would agree with me. Majority of the time, they usually give it to a QB. So I'll leave it at that.